Goose, 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 goose. Goose, 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 goose.
Bone Lake. All these
Boner Lake. Boner Lake.
Boner Lake. All these introductions, these are just kind of lifted from Wikipedia. But this is a film by Mercedes Bryce Morgan, 2024, starring Maddie Hassan, Alex Rowe, Andrea Nachita, and Marco Pegosi. Its plot follows a couple whose getaway at a remote lakeside house is interrupted by another mysterious couple, leading to a disturbing series of mind games and manipulation. This film had its world premiere at Fantastic Fest in September 2024 and was released nationwide in the States on October 3rd, 2025. Out of all the movies that we're talking about today, this is the one mutually unseen by both of us. This was your pick.
Yeah.
You thought, okay, you said it's in theaters for Halloween. Has a very exciting looking trailer.
Also,
most of us have been just bursting
hard to watch. Not hard to watch because it's a bad film, but hard to watch because most theaters aren't showing it around where I live.
Yeah.
So it's like, ooh, cool indie movie, like horror flick. Let's see how this goes.
Adds a cachet it did not deserve, but
no.
You want to go first on this one?
Let me start by saying this, okay?
Who?
I knew pretty strongly how I felt about the movie most of the way through the film, but after I watched the film. But before I started taking notes or writing anything down to talk about it on this record, I decided to watch a couple reviews, and I found this one about it's two gay gentlemen. They do this. It's a podcast. It's called Fish Jelly.
Fish Jelly.
So it's just jellyfish reversed, but it's fish jelly.
Okay.
It's a really weird name, but again, they get like in the thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of like views for their videos on YouTube. So they're doing
that we're not. They're having a show named Fish Jelly.
Yeah, they got more viewers of their video talking about Bone Lake than actual people that saw Bone Lake.
Because the difference there is people like watching that video first and be like, yeah, no.
So I start watching it, and they just keep going on and on and on about how bad it is. And then they just stop about 10 minutes in. I'm nodding my head the whole time. I'm like, yep, exactly. 10 minutes in, they stop.
To watch after the record.
One guy just goes, you know what? He's like, I feel awful about this. We've been like shitting on this movie the whole time.
Right.
Like he's like, it is just bullshit. It's a bullshit movie, but I just feel so bad. We just keep shitting so hard on it. There must be something good to say about it.
Right.
And the other guy's like, okay, another thing I really hate about this film. And they're like, okay.
He doesn't even follow the lead of like let's zag and try to have like a little bit of positivity for this art.
Yeah, no. What did you send to me in a message before I saw the film? You told me to think about something when I was watching this movie, the first 5 minutes.
I told you after I got out of the theater release of the 4K restoration of Perfect Blue, I said, no pressure, but maybe let's do Perfect Blue for the podcast instead of Bone Lake. That's the only thing that
you said that. You also said, think about Diego.
Oh, yes. So I told you that you needed to have something in your head for the first 5 minutes of the movie, and that was Diego, proud graduate of the Tommy Wiseau School of Fiancé Seduction.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah, that stayed with me the entire film. As soon as he started talking, I was just like, look, he's going to, propose something sweet, or he's going to say something nice to her. She's going to shut him down, and he's just going to go, he's like, Sage, you're tearing me apart.
So this movie involves a couple named Diego and Sage, and they rent out kind of this giant kind of lakeside manor for a long weekend ahead of Diego's trying to start working on a new book, and Sage kind of getting into a like full-time editing job. Kind of covertly, Diego is planning on proposing to her that weekend. So it's one of these kind of recent sort of genres, barbarian sort of being like a similar sort of thing of this
Exactly.
Airbnb horror subgenre that's been popular about like the last 10 years or so. And Diego and Sage, very kind of repressed, buttoned up millennial couple. Will and Cinnamon, again, you know, just fucking think like the women being named Sage and Cinnamon, or like the kind of the crazy couple being named Will and Sin. You can do whatever the fuck. Oh yeah, great.
Yeah.
Somebody took a compliment class in undergrad. Fucking good for you. But they sort of go there. You know, this other kind of strange, very good looking couple is there. They realize the place has been double booked, and you know, like this mystery couple's like, you people seem nice. Instead of contacting and instead of worrying about it, why don't we just kind of, we got this big giant place, this beautiful lake. Why don't we just kind of share the home together for like a week?
Yeah, we're 3 nights, you know.
Yeah.
Let's make it work. And for whatever reason, you know, you're uncomfortable, like, we'll leave.
Right. Here's the thing about the term woke. Okay. It's a word I deeply hate, because it started as kind of youth slang for a way to kind of talk about people that are aware of kind of progressivism and kind of social issues, and then it became kind of like a right-wing politician sort of word to kind of put down and denigrate young people. And now currently it's a completely empty, meaningless word that's just really kind of being used in the invocation of evil. I hate the word. I hate when other people use kind of like the word in conversation. It's something I try to avoid in every form.
It kind of sounds like snowflake talk, but go on.
Okay, yes. Woke Skinamax is the saddest, most depressing concept for a movie I can humanly fucking imagine. And that's basically what this film is.
That is a great synopsis of what this is. Yeah. I never saw 50 Shades of Grey, but I felt like this was like a knockoff that somebody's like, hey, we're going to kind of cash in on this thing that's like really popular and make our own version. But really, they don't.
It's not that. They're trying to do a sleazy late night 90s erotic thriller. Is I think like
it is clean in terms of like the sexual content.
Yeah.
And I say that meaning like they don't. I think they show breasts once at the beginning.
Can I read a like a quick
don't leave me hanging, bro. I said breasts once. Don't leave me hanging. What do you got?
So, a nightmarish maze of sex, lies, and manipulation, and then it's 3 frames of a prosthetic dick, a bronze sex scene, and then a single passionless spank with a flogger from Spencer's.
Yeah.
Made for people who have never seen this kind of movie before.
Okay.
That's off of Letterboxd and off of Rotten Tomatoes. Here's like another random audience review. Wiggity whack, the attack on men and masculinity is prevalent in this one, ... Wasn't scary, and there was no boobs, 3 exclamation points. Boo. Where does this movie fall apart? Did it fall apart right away from you? When did you realize there was a problem with this goddamn thing?
I think it was the moment. So the beginning when, again, the place is double booked, and immediately I'm like, barbarian.
Right.
There's no way this can live up to this. I'm gonna hate this.
Yes.
And then the movie proceeds, and they're like, "Hey."
The thing we're talking about earlier. What the second you clock? Oh, this was going to be a subpar version of a better thing that's already been made and is in like the public conscience.
And again, like you mentioned, I didn't realize this was like a big subgenre. I don't know how many other movies have this kind of premise, but it seems to be a thing.
Like this is the kind of thing that you would see kind of like in like kind of like VHS kind of rental shelves and kind of late night on Cinemax in the 1990s, where it's instead of like kind of one kind of straight-laced couple, they're on vacation someplace, and and for whatever reason meeting a couple that's a little sexier, like a little bit more loose. And then everything just kind of plays out like over the course of like a couple days. But there's usually passion, there's usually fucking, is usually some actual sort of like like kind of real emotional back and forth. Like, you know, the good couple reveals themselves to be like a bit more kind of horny and selfish than they let on, and like the weird couple ends up being it ends up kind of being revealed to be a lot more kind of criminal and kind of sociopathic by the end.
Oh yeah, yeah.
These movies kind of made already.
Yeah, you right from the beginning, you can kind of tell when you meet the other couple, you know something's off.
Right.
Like they're way too forward. They're way too like calm with the situation. Meaning like, oh shit, man, that's tough, you know, but we'll make it work. You want to do rock, paper, scissors to see who's gonna stay here?
Right.
And I'm like, oh, that's cute. Okay. But before the second couple, Will and Sin show up. The moment I realized this was gonna be shit is where Diego kind of hints towards Sage, like, you know, we got the place to ourselves. He walks in naked. She's like, oh, we're already starting this. And he's just like, it's like, yeah. And then she just looks down, sees his dick, and she's just like, I forget what she says. Something like, oh, I haven't seen him in a while. And he's like, why didn't you say hello to him? And so she goes, okay. And she goes down.
Right.
And you hear like, she goes, hello. And then she just comes back up. And he's like, so you want to like do it? And she's like, okay, yeah. And then they're having sex, and they cut right to the part where they're about to climax, and they show her clearly not climaxing, and he's just like, oh, I'm gonna finish. Can I finish? Right. And she's just like
this is an important scene because you're like, okay, like
look
immediately
at the fucking camera. I was waiting for her to look at us and be like, am I right, ladies? I was, oh my god,
no stroke game on this one.
Oh my god.
But it's important. So like the way that they're having sex is she's on top. There's a blanket sort of wrapped around like their mid parts, and she's wearing a bra the entire time, and it's completely devoid of any kind of passion, any kind of sexuality, any kind of just anything. I'm curious if you kind of clock this. There is a moment where they finish having sex, and Sage rolls off of Diego, and the blanket kind of curls away from her hip just for like a second, and it's very, very clear she's wearing panty liner.
Oh, really? No.
Yeah, you didn't see that. My theory for this movie is they must have caught that in editing and been like, yeah, you know what, leave it in. It's this
nobody gives a shit about this film.
Whole commitment to having to having Diego and Sage be as just kind of as sexless, as anxiety ridden, as kind of passionless as possible, and then Will and Sid coming in and just being just the most absurd versions, like this kind of AI representation of human sexuality. There's a scene where Sin tries to seduce Diego while Will and Sage are out for a drive, and she walks in like the dress that she has and like the makeup she put on, she looks like a goddamn ring pop.
Yeah.
Right? It's
yeah.
So the whole thing, just my problem with this thing is like, you know, obviously the source material, all these movies that they made a million of like the 90s, they had like kind of like at least like the decent ones had representations of passion, desire, human emotion, human sexuality. This whole movie is just about a millennial couple that's too fucking awkward to actually call customer service.
So forced. Everything is so forced. Nothing feels natural about this film at all. All the weird things where Diego's like, yeah, I'm just not comfortable with sex toys. Or like Sage is like, you know,
who says that in 2025? Who's just like, yeah, I just don't like them.
Yeah. Sage is getting off in the jacuzzi with like with the sprayer or whatever.
Right.
And she's just going, oh. I'm like, I don't understand what's happening here. This again, you called it out. This is like a Skinamax flick that somebody just kind of threw together, really low budget. They pull upon a bunch of tropes that you're used to, and they just think you'll forgive it because
but also clipped out all the nudity, all the stuff that was hot, all the stuff was actually fun about like those originals.
They did show boobs, which seemed promising, but as my son pointed out, when I said, okay, that shot where he took a crossbow bolt to the nuts, that is bullshit.
Yeah.
And he goes, "What do you mean?"
It's in the first again, like the movie kind of starts with sort of like a kind of a red haze, sort of a kind of very erratic sort of flashback kind of scene of like a naked couple being chased through the woods by two insane assailants with kind of crossbows. And at one point, like one of the crossbow bolts gets fired, and you actually see it actually sort of pass through a prosthetic scrotum. And again, we said like the top of the pot, but that's like the best. That's the best like 90 seconds of the entire.
But here's the thing to me. In that scene, my son's like, he's like, what do you care about that scene? He's like, and I'm like, the thing that bothers me is that they shot a crossbow bolt and it kind of launched and hit the nuts, and then it got stuck in there. And I said, you know what? The thing that bothers me is that this man does not get enough credit for having such fucking thick nuts. I'm like, that is like, how did I put it? I was like, it's like thick braided
jumbo size Snickers.
It just shot in. There was like, you know, a little like vibration because it hit solid fucking mass. I was like, that guy should be proud of himself. And my son goes, yeah, I also saw a dick, so that's kind of gross.
Right.
I was like, look.
So the movie gets to a kind of point where there's this aggressively there is this aggressively sort of non-erotic kind of back and forth between the two couples over the course of the movie, and then it kind of turns into a horror chase scene at the end. That's not.
Did it pull you in? It pulled you back in.
The thing.
Does it make up for the film? No,
because like the craziest thing about that is just complete spoilers for this movie. In like the final moments of the film, it's Diego and Sage sitting on the boat. They've just kind of they've killed off. Big one.
You can even jump in before that.
Okay, shoot.
So, Sin and Sage, for some reason, when everybody figures out what's going on. Sin apparently told Sage, you know, she's being paranoid about Diego cheating on her with her. So let's take Molly. And then they go swimming in a storm in the lake.
And they're both giggling the entire time. It looks like they're about to kiss. And I like the movie kept on making me think, oh, this is going to get interesting. This is actually going to get freaky or sexual, or it's going to try to do something other than just having this. Than having like the main couple just be like these fucked up kind of repressed millennials. The Molly thing's like, okay, maybe something actually interesting will happen at this point.
So what happens is this is the moment when they're all like, I didn't actually take Molly, I was faking it. And then they're like, I'm gonna kill you. So then it's all about survival. It's Sage and Sin are in the kitchen. They're like physically fighting each other.
Right. It's a nasty little fight.
I was like, what the fuck is Sin doing? Like, she's a skinny little piece of shit. Why is she going after Sage? There's no, like, why? How has she survived this long?
Right.
And
Sin literally has like sort of like Barbie proportions. It's the kind of thing when she's walking, you know, it's the thing they'd say about Barbies, like a woman actually portioned like that would fall over and have like all her bones break within like, you know,
she had like a mason jar slammed against the side of her head with glass sticking out of her cheek. And I'm like, what were you expecting? You're not physically strong enough to overpower Sage. So what are we doing this for? And then Diego, Will was off like jerking off or something. Who even knows? Diego, he got hurt. And so he's just kind of sitting there doing nothing for like 10 minutes while the girls are fighting.
In fairness, like Diego was largely just kind of sitting there doing nothing for like about like, you know, like 3/4 of the movie.
Most of the film.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to now it's like Will against Sage and then Sin against Diego.
Right.
And that's what you mentioned. Like, well, they're down by the dock.
The thing I'm leaning into the entire time is there's this ambiguity left in the movie of just like Will and Sage go on a drive, Diego and Sin stay home, and there's a cut where the movie kind of fades to black at one point, and it's implied maybe stuff did or did not happen here. But in the moment, I'm like watching this film. I'm like, there's no actual way anything fucking happened with like either of these kind of pairings at all. But in the Sage versus kind of Will scene where it's just the two of them, and it, like Sage is holding an axe, and Will's like do it, just kind of chop my brain, just take a swing, kind of chop my brain right open. I was leaning into that point because I'm like, if the two of them actually did hook up in the car. Maybe that's the reveal. Maybe that's the thing that
Oh,
actually
sure. Yeah.
gives us like and I'm like, okay, no, nothing is actually confirmed, and Sage just ends up just kind of like just kind of walking away from it afterwards.
Yeah. See what happened. It was like he had the chain. He went and got a chainsaw. He's chasing her. Is it like she axed him in the end, and then he fell on the chainsaw?
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. And then I was like laughing because I'm like, ha ha ha, look at that. And it just shows he's like, and he falls forward. He falls on the chainsaw. It just shows the blood spraying up in like Sage's face and her mouth or anything.
Right.
And then she just turns and just starts vomiting.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great scene. I gave him that. I was like, that's fantastic.
Let me build on this. The final shot of the movie, and again, so
Also my favorite scene, if it's the same thing you're talking about.
The final shot in the movie where just the couple's on a boat. Sin is kind of swimming after them. She tries climbing onto the boat. She's wearing Diego's grandmother's wedding ring that he was going to give to Sage as a proposal because Will stole it at one point. He's like, "Let me just borrow this shit for like the weekend, bro," and like and just Diego is just too much of like an asswipe to actually sort of say or like do anything like active about it at all. Diego hits her hand with the axe, chops off the finger that has the engagement rings off of it. She falls into the lake, and then one of them just kind of backs like the outboard motor like over her body and ends up kind of chopping her up.
Yeah,
kind of a violent, kind of a fun like little sort of back and forth chase at the end, but like the final shot, like I had a moment like, wait, what? And then I confirmed it with like a couple letterbox reviews later. But filmmakers should not, when you have a pale white lady covered in red makeup, you really should not light that scene in like a sickly green color because it just, you can go back and look again, but it looks for all the world that the blood-covered face of Sage, it just looks like she's wearing blackface.
Oh.
Like aggressively looks like she's wearing.
Oh, that's not what I thought you were going to call that out. That was going to be the very end where Diego picks up the wedding ring, and then he just looks at Sage, and he's just like, eh? And then she just takes the ring and puts it on, and they're just kind of like laughing, covered in blood.
Yeah, it's. But then they're just going to sit there in stunned silence. It's almost at the ending of The Graduate, in the same way. I wrote down in my notes there. She's breaking up with him the next fucking day, right?
Oh yeah, that weekend was it. That was it.
Yeah. Okay, let's
jump on to the next movie. But before we do,
two quick things before we go.
Yeah.
Let's. What did your son think of this?
What did my son think about it? He thought it was a piece of shit.
That was a piece of shit.
This is the second movie I kind of failed him on.
The
first one was Night Swim.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Remember that one? That was I think the first horror movie he saw at a movie theater that I took him to. I thought it would be like PG-13 enough that him and his friends, who were I think all 8th graders at the time, could enjoy. And they're like, "Wow, that sucked."
Yeah.
I made up for it though. I did bring him to Boogeyman, which I still stand by. It's a great movie. A lot of jump scares.
Okay.
And also weapons.
So we agreed as part of the as part of this little exercise for like the tiers of like movies we're reviewing. We're going to review this on a score of 0 to 50. Let's do our first scoring for our Cunnyween Horror Spectacular on a score on a scale of 1 to 50.
Un de trois.
Un de trois.
Un de trois. I put 17.
I got 5 on this.
Wow.
It was originally a 15, but I think the marketing on this was extremely deceptive with the highlighted part of the trailer being the first 90 seconds and then fucking nothing coming out after that.
I want to throw out before we go to the next movie. Nobody's going to watch this film, but you think all the shit we just talked about the film was fucking crazy and makes it awful enough. Sin and Will are also brother and sister. It's revealed.
Yeah.
Which completely unnecessary.
I wrote down the two of them play Lex Luthor and his girlfriend Eve for like the porn parody of the new Superman movie. Just picture it. It just kind of works. It's just imagine
Yeah.
Will shakes his head, and it just everything else kind of falls into place.
I love the line of the film where they were like,
Mhm.
Sin is just like, we've known like each other since we were kids, and then that kind of developed into something else as we got older. But our parents didn't; they weren't happy with it.
Right. That's kind of
like,
fun. Like that's
Oh no!
it's not quite the Sixth Sense, but
Yeah.
It rewards a second viewing of this movie that I will never actually like put myself.
No, I'm done shitting on this. I think it deserves all the shit it got, though.